Today's topic is the magnetostatics. It is the unit 3, and the magnetostatic is related to the static magnetic field. Objective to study the basic laws of magnetostatics and concept of curl of magnetic field. Outcome to understand the laws of magnetostatic and understand the concept of magnetic field and magnetic potential. So first start with the magnet. There are the two poles exist, that is the south pole and north pole, and if you are breaking the magnet also, then also the two poles exist. So no two separate poles are exist for a magnet, only south, only north, it is not possible. Now based on the theory of this, previously we have studied that the force on a charge is equal to Q into E bar. E bar is the electric field intensity. So if you are knowing the electric field intensity, then you can calculate the force because of the electric field intensity. Similar way, in the magnetic field is a B bar, and its velocity, charge is moving with the velocity, that is the V bar. Then the magnetic force is equal to Q into V bar cross P bar. So if you are combining both the combination of the force, electric force and the magnetic force, then it is equal to Q into E bar plus V cross V bar. The problem related to Lorentz force is nothing but this charge is given, velocity is given, the direction of velocity is given by the unit vector, that is the direction is given by the unit vector, and we have to find out the magnitude of force on the moving particle or charge. When the only B is given, then we have to use the formula F bar is equal to Q into V bar cross V bar. So all the parameters are given here. Okay, using this you can calculate the force. Similar way, if the electric field intensity is given, then you can calculate F bar is equal to Q into V bar. And if you want to combine, both are present, that is V bar is present, E bar is present, then you have to use the combine equation. Okay, so basically this is also the vector quantity, this is also the vector quantity, so you have to add it up and multiply it by the Q, and then you have to find the magnitude. So this is the formula is related to the vector quantity you are getting, but you have to find out the magnitude. So how the magnetic field strength is expressed, strength of the magnetic field is expressed. So it is expressed in terms of B bar. So B bar is called as the magnetic flux density. It's represented by the letter B bar. It is also called as the magnetic induction. The magnetic field strength can be expressed in terms of magnetic field intensity also, and it is called as the H bar. H bar is unit for its ampere per meter. What is the relationship between now this B bar and H bar? B bar is equal to mu 0 mu r H bar, where mu 0 is 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7 units is Henry per meter. Okay, so the relationship between mu and mu r is mu is equal to mu 0 mu r. Magnetic material, so there are the different magnetic material, diamagnetic material where the mu r is less than 1, paramagnetic material where the mu r is 1, and ferromagnetic material where the mu r is very greater than 1. Iron like material where the ferromagnetic, these are the ferromagnetic. The latter are often most used, means ferromagnetics are most useful materials when working with the magnetic field. There are other types of magnetic material also, that is the ferrites, magnetic powders, magnetic fluid, magnetic glasses. Magnetic flux. Flux is the integral of the flux density over an area S. So it is represented mathematically phi is equal to integration b bar dot ds. So if you are doing the integration of b bar dot ds bar, you are getting the magnetic flux. Unit for the flux is the Weber. 1 Weber is equal to 1 Tesla into meter square. Flux relates to the power and energy in the magnetic field. So flux is always relates to what is the power and energy in the magnetic field. So this is the photograph of Tesla. That is the scientist. Tesla is a scientist, and it is on the 100 rupee note. So the Tesla is a unit for magnetic flux density, basically. Biot-Savart law. Biot-Savart law gives us the magnetic field intensity arising at a specified point P from a given current distribution. It's a fundamental law of magnetostatics. So the diagram indicates that this is the current is flowing through this path. dl bar is a small short length. Idl bar is called as the current element. R is the distance between idl and the point P. H is the magnetic field intensity. So dH is equal to K into idl sine alpha divided by R square. Where K is 1 upon 4 pi. The contribution to the H field at a point P from a different current element idl is given by dH is equal to I divided by 4 pi into dl cross R bar divided by R square. H is the integration of 1 of I upon 4 pi dl cross R bar divided by R square. Okay. So Biot-Savart law we are giving in the integral form in this way. This is the like this. So magnetic field due to the infinitely long straight filament. So you are considering while solving this problem, this is a short current element, this is the R distance between this. Then we are applying the Biot-Savart law. First we can write down this in the Cartesian coordinate systems. Then we are converting it into the cylindrical coordinate system. The cylindrical, because to represent this problem in cylindrical it is simple, and finally you are getting the answer is equal to h bar is equal to I divided by 2 pi rho into Fi. So Fi is the direction of the magnetic field, I is the current flowing through this, and rho is the distance from this to the point where you are finding out the magnetic field intensity. So it is expressed in terms of the cylindrical coordinate system. So you are getting at this point h bar, and these are nothing but if you are taking the circle on this from this, the same magnetic field will be there, like this circle will be there, same magnetic field will be there, but the direction is in the Phi direction, like this direction, because phi is measured from this, phi is measured from this. Okay, so the direction is nothing but this is the direction for it. So h bar, this is the relation. Then we are going for the Ampere's law, Ampere's circuital law. So just like it is a Gauss law, uh, Gauss law is related to electric field intensity. This is related to magnetic field intensity. So easy to find out the magnetic field intensity, we can apply this Ampere's law. Ampere's law is nothing but the closed integration h bar dot dl bar is equal to I enclosed. Okay, if you are taking the closed integration, this is the closed integration, this is the closed integration, then it is nothing but the whatever is the current I is flowing from this, this is the equal to I enclosed is equal to closed integration h bar dot dl bar. So this is the and by using this we can find out to solve some problem. So the derivation for the Ampere's law in point form or the derivative form, we'll call it as a so this diagram indicates that the for the derivation. So this is the plane, and in this plane there are the closed path is there 1 2 3 4. This is the closed path where it is path is in the xy plane, path is in the xy plane, and uh, this is a closed path. At the center there is a magnetic field intensity, so it having the three components h0, hoy and hz, right? So what we have to do is that with respect to center, following this closed path, okay, following this closed path we have to find out the uh, find out uh, find out the uh, what is closed integration of h bar dot dl bar. So while calculating this, doing the calculation, this four path factor, these are the coming for this four. Okay, so here this is the central point, but here is the variation will be there, right? So that variation we have to consider here. While following this path, variation will be there. Here following this path, the variation from this to this variation magnetic field is there, and from this the variation will be there. So this is the coming, and this is for the one plane. Then we have to consider all the three plane, xy plane, yz plane, xz plane, and then we have to find out the total integration, total integration, and this is giving us the one component. Okay, the I flowing in this direction. Okay, so if you are taking the total current and these all considering all these three direction, we are getting the closed integration h bar dot dl bar is nothing but the integration del cross h bar dot ds bar. Okay, this is the basically the Stokes law. Stokes law, it is converting the line integral into the this surface integration, and I enclosed is nothing but j bar dot ds bar. Now uh, comparing these two integration, okay, comparing these two integration, we are getting del cross h bar is equal to j bar. Now for deriving this del cross h bar is equal to j bar, we are using this diagram. We are following for all these three surfaces we are calculating. One of the part we are getting the curl quantity, and one of the side we are getting the current, total current flowing through this. So this is the expression in differential form. So this is the called as the differential form of Ampere's law. So because this del is nothing but the derivative quantity, okay, and so we are getting the differential form. Now the application of Ampere's law, uh, so this is the closed integration h bar dot dl bar is equal to I enclosed. So this is can be applied to solve some problem. So if you are considering symmetrical path, then we are applying this formula and we can solve some problem. So today we'll stop here only, and the next lecture we'll see how we can apply Ampere's law to solve some problem.